Hi, I'm Stephanie from Innovation Baby, and today I wanted to show you my greenhouse. I've wanted a greenhouse for ages since I started growing little seedlings. Actually in lockdown I started growing them with egg cups on the windowsill. However, I needed somewhere that I could grow more and more, because I loved seeing the flowers grow in my garden and being able to fill my garden in a much more cheaper way, and actually the satisfaction of growing them from the seed. So I invested in this 5 foot by 2 foot Victorian wall greenhouse. It's from the Shed store, and it was £499 with an auto vent, which is an extra little bit, so I'll explain that later. So it was delivered loose like this, so each piece got delivered off the back of a lorry, and the person was lovely. They put it where we asked them to put it. We don't have any side access, so we just got them to put it on the front. It comes with all its fixings and instructions, and make sure you follow it step by step. Make sure you do it in the order and try and skip little bits. We bought the extra bit for the auto vent, which actually allows the windows to open separately, and it just came like this. So this was the space that we had. It was pretty useless little space, so I thought it worked perfectly to have this greenhouse. We made like a hardcore base with leftover gravel, shingle and bits of hardcore that we had, dug out the hole, lined it with like weed membrane, and then filled up with sand and got it all levelled, and then we put our porcelain patio slabs on the top. So you want to make sure that you drill little pilot holes for each of the screws that you put in on the wooden parts. This helps the screw knit into the wood and stops it from splitting and damaging the wood. So then you just need to screw in section by section using all the materials that they provided. Obviously the glass isn't pink. This is obviously what it looks like with the protective film over it, and I've kept this on there because I painted them, but you don't have to. So you do section by section. We've got these lovely great big clamps that we use that really help us. Don't do it on a windy day. We also wanted to secure it to the fence post that was behind, so we used these brackets, put one on this fence post that's really secure to the house behind. My neighbour approved, it was all checked, and we then cable tied them both together just to give it that little bit more security. Then you want to do your side panels and your batten. Make sure the batten is around the right way. The same as the windows on the top. Make sure these are around the right way, because this way is currently wrong. As we found out, they need to be flipped around like this. But also you can see that the wood was slightly warped. This is kind of one of the problems we've had with this greenhouse. We hope over time it will settle down, but it is. This is the other window. This doesn't have the auto vent on it. It just has the little piece of wood that you hold it up in the air and you manually open it. Now I would like to at some point put another one of the auto vents on this side, because the auto vents are brilliant. They've got a liquid inside that expands in the heat, contracts in the cold, and allows the window to open and shut by itself. So then you want to move on to the doors. We had a little bit of trouble with these doors. Not sure what we've done wrong, or if it was just the wood, I'm not sure, but they were fine at the bottom. But when you had them all on together, all leveled up, they met at the top, so they didn't shut, and they pushed really tight against each other. So we ended up having to remove the battens so that we pushed out the greenhouse so it was wider, so there was more width to it, which then allowed the doors to have a little bit more space. So here's it all built, ready. This is the unpainted version, so it's already built, everything's done. All the shelves got put in, which were brilliant. You can have them open or down or in the middle. I then painted it in copper and urban slate on the outside and Protex nude tape on the inside, which actually matches my fence, so it blends really lovely when you look from the outside. So peeling off all of that was a long time to peel off that, so keep time. Give yourself enough time to peel it off, and then it looks like this, and I am over the moon with it, absolutely over the moon. It's given me a brilliant amount of space. I reckon I've probably got about 80 little 9-inch pots in here. I just kept growing and growing and growing and growing seeds, because I was like, hey, I've got more and more places to put. So we also made these little greenhouse stands, which allowed me then to use these trays up on the stands, and I can use the storage underneath. The little shelves, they open and close, and it's just absolutely brilliant. The hardware that comes with it is the handles and the locks, but it doesn't come with these hooks that we have added on additionally, because obviously once you open the doors, they have got nothing to hold on to, so they will just swing open in the wind. So we've installed these that we bought on the Amazon, and then these little clips on the door to keep it in, they are actually supplied as well, but the actual hooks to keep the doors back. I've added some little lights, bought a lovely watering can, and just, yeah, I love it. I just really, really love it. My plants have grown healthy and strong in there. It's just, yeah, it's been really, really good, and I love looking at it. I think it looks lovely out in the garden as well. These little pots were just from B&M that I just put in some little bits and bobs in there that if I want to store, and these trays are perfect. They can absorb the water, so I can kind of keep it quite clean in here because I can just water those. So if you want to find out more information on it, take a look at my blog post in the description box below, where you can have a look at the links to purchase items that were featured in this as well. Thank you very much.